Hello and welcome to the Kindred Essence Tarot. This latest pick a card reading is on the subject of someone's trustworthiness. Are they trustworthy? So think of a particular person in your life and see what pile you're the most drawn to. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4, and make your selection. So just intuit, like the pile that you're the most drawn to is the answer. And I've got other similar readings like this regarding a person's trustworthiness in the playlist section. So you may want to check out the playlist section to see other, like I do the same format as this, and the same subject, same format and same subject. So you could find that in the playlist section if you're interested in more of these types of, ascertaining people's trustworthiness readings. All right, so make your selection and let's get started. All right, hello, pile number 1. Let's see what we get for is this particular person trustworthy? We've got the Tower, we've got the Lovers, we've got the Justice card, so a major arcana, two major arcanas, and the Ace of Pentacles. Interesting. So, just let me get myself adjusted and comfortable. And so the first thing I'm getting, I got the word chaos, and I got that this person, there's always a sense of constant chaos that they're in. That's what I'm getting with them, a sense of chaos. It's like I don't get really a bad person, but I just get a ton of chaos around this particular person. And it's like they're always, and it's interesting because I got this word chaos seems to follow this person. It seems to follow, like, it doesn't seem to be, like, I hear in some cases it seems like they've precipitated this type of chaos from themselves. But in other times I hear it's like chaos follows this person um, around them like a rain cloud. That's interesting. But I don't get a very sense of a bad person. Just a lot of chaotic energy that seems to follow them around. And I hear that it does this, or they either create it unconsciously, or sometimes people may like accuse them of creating chaos, like just doing it intentionally. But I'm hearing they're not really doing it intentionally, and it seems sometimes it just seems to be bad luck. But some people might accuse them of being like like they're causing it, they're making it happen. But I hear that it's some sort of unconscious, it's hard to describe, but it's sort of like this unconscious program within them that's attracting on those chaos. They don't mean to, but it's like it's trying to create a union of them, of some aspect of themselves that they're in denial of, or they don't want to face. That's what I see with the Lovers in reverse. It's like, because oftentimes this is not another person, but the Lovers can be another aspect of a person, another aspect of a person that they want to sort of come into union with, so to speak, and then upwards is going upwards. So it's sort of like going inwards. And they can't um, they can't seem to really come into union with it, I'm hearing. And so they create unconsciously chaos. So it's kind of, I get a sense of sort of a frustrated type of person, like a very frustrated, they don't want to be frustrated, but they kind of are. And I hear, yeah, they're basically, all this chaos seems to follow them around, because it's sort of like their higher self, or it's like an attempt, a desperate attempt to come into balance with this piece of self that's missing, I hear, or that's very imbalanced. They've got something very imbalanced, right? The Justice was about balance. So I hear there's something very in balance, and it's like they want to, and it seems to, I feel like this is very unconscious. A lot of this is unconscious, which is kind of the problem, because that's why they seem to always attract chaos, because this is very unconscious. But I don't really get a sense of a bad person, just somebody who's very desperate, although they may not know it. They come into balance with themselves. Interesting. They want to meet this part of themselves. They want to become in balance with this part of themselves. And they kind of want to have what they want in their life, which is sort of, although they may not want this, they may not know this, or they may not want it fully. It's what the higher part of themselves wants, is sort of this balance, this sense of balance and stability, this sense of grounding is what I hear with Ace of Pentacles, a grounding or a new beginning. It's like they're trying to, it's like I get a sense of unconsciousness within them that creates a sense of chaos. But it's like they can't have the sense of balance. And sometimes I see you kind of roll your eyes, oh, not again. This person creates all this chaos. But it's like, yeah, they really don't want to, but it's this, they're trying to create with all this chaos. It's like they're trying to create a breakthrough. They really want to have a breakthrough at some unconscious level, but it's like because of like this sort of unconsciousness. I got the word, you don't know what you don't know. So I get that there's a lot of unconsciousness of with this person, and they can't really put it together. They can't find those missing pieces of themselves. So I'm seeing kind of clear the way when they're coming through, because they got a lot of chaos behind them, even though they don't want them to. And I hear that some people may accuse them of creating drama just for the hell of it. But I'm hearing is that they don't really do this. Like, this isn't something that they actually do. It's just that it's something that it just appears this way to people. It just appears that way to people, that they're causing drama just for the hell of it, but they really aren't. They're just trying to resolve something, and they're trying to create some grounding and healing unconsciously. They were trying to find some balance and healing and some. So yeah, that's kind of all I get for pile number one. I hope this person gets the grounding and the healing that they want. So and I'm hearing, yeah, you may want to hold the space for this person and just sort of allow them, just maybe, I heard hold their hand, but I don't think that actually means that literally. It's sort of like, in some cases, you may just want to be a stable space for them, but not to the point that it drags you down. You don't want to see that, but just sort of, you may want to create a stable space, but kind of create some distance too, just for your own mental health. That's what I got. And then maybe I got four from the bottom. So it's sort of like, do what you love. So I'm hearing person can be a distraction to you sometimes. So I'm hearing if you did what you love and they truly did what they love, then it would be kind of a more healing situation, I hear. But for now, they haven't really done that, and I'm hearing that you've done that. So it's sort of like, just keep you can maybe have them in your life, but sort of keep a respectful space too, if that makes any sense. Or maybe giving him a little bit of guidance, a little bit of hand holding, so to speak, but don't kind of find the balance of that, not going overboard with that, if that makes any sense. So that's all we've got for pile number one. I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe give it a like or a comment if this resonated. You could also check out the playlist section. I've also got a lot of other Can You Trust Them readings, and they show that in the playlist section. I've also got readings on karma, past lives, dream interpretation, narcissistic abuse healing, a lot of different other subjects. So yeah, I hope that maybe you can check that out and see if it's worth it for you to subscribe. All right, so that's all we got with pile one. I wish you luck with your dealings with this person, if you are in fact dealing with them. And now it is time for pile number two. Hello, pile number two. Let's see. Is this person trustworthy? Temperance. So immediately they still have some sort of addiction that they're dealing with, and I'm hearing could be a sex addiction, a porn addiction, an alcohol addiction, various drug addictions. I heard heroin addiction. I got a strong sense of addiction, and I'm hearing this could make them unsafe to certain people, because they could sort of be, to some people they could be a little bit flaky, I hear, or even in some cases, I hear, not all cases, but I'm hearing in some cases, this could be a disloyal person. In other cases, they're just flaky because they have an addiction issue that they're dealing with the temperance card. The temperance card means that sometimes people, they've got, an addiction that they need, something needs tempering, and oftentimes that's an addiction. So I get that with some, and I hear that it's sort of like, yeah, it's to do with the moon card. It's like they've got some major demons in their psyche. They've got some major demons with um, like just internal demons that it's hard for them. And I hear, yeah, with the inner child, it's sort of like their inner child has been left out in the cold with the moon, with this rendition in the moon card, and that is directly connected to their addiction. So I'm hearing that they also have a sense of, like, a strong sense of defensiveness. Sometimes you feel. I heard this person can be a little bit prickly. That's what I got from this one. I got that this person's defensive and kind of prickly, and that's probably, I hear that this kind of prickliness is what causes them to go to their addiction in the first place. It precipitates both. It's sort of this trauma, the moon card. It's sort of the precipitator of everything in their life, actually. It's like the precipitator of their addiction, to alcohol, food, phone, or phone sex. That just popped out. I don't know. It's interesting. Phone sex, even. Interesting. But like different types of addictions. Um, yeah, and just a variety of different addictions, and then I guess they feel a little bit ashamed about it too. I'm hearing, so that makes them defensive. So it's sort of like, I'm hearing this ungodly alliance of, or not alliance, but this sort of this cycle that they get into. The demons they don't want to face turns into the addiction, turns into them being kind of very defensive about that, turns into them avoiding other people with the Four of Cups. So it's sort of like one thing leads to another, one thing leads to another in this perfect order that it came out in. Yeah, the addiction, the trauma, the emotional pain that they're not going to deal with turns to the addiction, turns to being defensive. They know that they're defensive because of their addiction. This creates this cycle, and then it becomes to them sort of avoiding the other people and kind of rejecting other people with a Four of Cups. So they're, as I hear, is they're kind of stuck in a hole, in a loop, but they're not really a bad person. I'm hearing they're just kind of more an addiction. I still sort of more a grisly drinker, addicted type person as to normally a super bad person. I'm hearing just really kind of somebody who's gruff and damaged, and sort of yeah, gruff, damaged, and sometimes they know that they've kind of gone into a bad, cycle, and then they get defensive, and they kind of, they're having a trouble breaking this cycle. And I hear they can be kind of a little bit gruff sometimes and say kind of rude words. I hear, but like it's because they feel defensive about their addiction and the issue from what it stands. So they become sort of gruff, and so that could be sort of unsafe and untrustworthy, but not an overall sense of, untrustworthy, but I hear that they become really avoidant from people, and they don't return emails, they don't return phone calls, they just they kind of they kind of go off, so they can be a little bit non-committal, and they go in their addiction. So I hear that they're untrustworthy in the sense that they're not really, they can't really be relied upon all that much. So that's what I'm hearing, is that they can't be relied upon too much for for everything, and because of that, that is what makes them untrustworthy. It's just their unreliability, and the fact that this addiction, I hear in some cases it's really taken up their life. I hear a grizzly drinker, like a, grizzly, I'm trying to get the right words, but a grizzly hardened drinker type thing. And I got, yeah, it just came out of my mouth. Like a phone sex that just, I wasn't even, it just, yeah, it like, I don't know, like maybe they have sort of a sex addiction as well too. So it's sort of like, and they feel here, if they have that, it's kind of, they feel quite defensive about that. So that will make them really avoid. So just a really painful cycle of addiction, avoidance, defensiveness, never really dealing with what's behind this. So I'm hearing this person kind of needs to learn, let's read from the top for my wisdom, that to be patient, because I'm hearing that they kind of, instead of, they kind of grow impatient with themselves. It's hard for them to sort of, I hear if they were to stay in this state, if they were, because they kind of, I hear they go into the state where they're kind of, the trauma leads to the addiction, leads to the defensiveness, leads to them being by themselves. But I'm hearing if they were to stay in this state, that they wouldn't start the cycle again. Like I hear they only spend a little bit of time by themselves, and then they go right back to the addiction again. But I'm hearing if they were to, um, I'm hearing if they were to like, stay in this state, they could actually snap out of it and avoid the ungodly cycle. But they have a hard time being patient with themselves, or sort of spending any amount of time with themselves, and then they go back to the drinking because they want to avoid themselves, and then they become defensive. Then they're by themselves only for a short time, and then they're not patient with themselves. They just a little bit of breather, but they don't really deal with themselves. So they go back to the pain again, go back to the addiction, go back to defensiveness, go by themselves for a short period of time, don't reflect on their issues, and they go back to the cycle over and over and again. So I hear that they're caught in an ungodly cycle that only God can break. Interesting. An ungodly cycle that only God can break. Interesting. So that's what we got for pile number 2 in terms of whether they are trustworthy. That's the kind of personality that I picked up for pile number 2. So let's see what we have for pile number 3. Let's see, is this person trustworthy? Already getting a sense of imbalance, but we'll see what we get. Yeah, 3 of Cups, Knight of Wands, 6 of Pentacles, and 3 of Pentacles. Interesting, interesting. Yeah, I got kind of an imbalance, and it's sort of like, so I'm first drawn to the, interesting, I got the Knight of Cups is the court card that popped up in reverse. And I'm hearing that they're not really who they wish to be, is what I'm hearing. They're not really who they wish to be. They're not balanced. Cause, oh yeah, interesting. We'll get back to those outside cards because those were interesting. But I'm drawn also to the 6 of Pentacles, which is like it is a healthy, integrated giving with other people. And I'm hearing they don't have that. They don't really know how to truly get along with other people. They don't know how to get along with people. Here they run away from people, but then they run towards people. Like they're kind of imbalanced towards how they are with people. And let's see what else. Yeah, and I'm getting on the either side of them as we've got the 2 threes, 3 of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups, and that's really interesting because these cards, they're both threes, but they would appear to be very diametrically opposite cards. Like, because the 3 of Cups is very much a party card, right? You can see it. Look at that. Somebody partying, drinking. Somebody who really enjoys partying, drinking. Woman, drinking, that kind of stuff. But then they're also, how does that connect to the work card? So in this, the 3 of Pentacles is working, seriousness, working with people, seriousness. So it's like they don't know how to find, what I get is very much they don't know how to find a balance between these two energies. I'm hearing that they could, sort of their untrustworthiness could be avoiding work, I'm hearing, and then partying a bit too much. Like I just heard an image of somebody who, drinks a little bit too much on the weekend, and then they call in sick to work, but they're really hungover. Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah, they get a little bit too drunk, and then there are lots of alcohol issues coming up today, like sort of addiction issues. Interesting. But it's sort of like they don't know, they kind of do this because they don't know, they're kind of, the kind of person that goes in a bender, and then they're like, oh, I'm too sick to work, but are they really too sick to work? I'm hearing a million little white lies is what this person tells. That's what I get. I get that they tend to lie a lot. They tend to, lie and be kind of deceitful, but not quite. So yeah, I get a deceitful energy for this pile, quite a deceitful pile, but it's sort of like, it's because they don't really even, and it's not to excuse that energy, but it's like they don't really know themselves that well, and they're so imbalanced that it's hard for them to be honest with themselves. Therefore, they lie to other people. That's what I'm getting, and they, yeah, they don't really know how to integrate with people, so they kind of avoid it with partying, and they don't really. Um, I'm hearing at work they're just a little bit. Um, they can be very easy. Like I'm hearing at times they can work well, but other times they can. I get okay. I'm getting an ADD energy. Sometimes I hear they can be really good at work. They can be really good at giving and they're all to work in tasks. But in other times they're too I hear an energy of ADD, really frustrated energy that can't focus at other times. They can't focus, and just really hard for them to focus at work. And then, but other times, if you direct them properly, they can be really they can be really focused too. But it's just a really sense of imbalanced energy. In ADD, I got the ADD and a deceitful energy, kind of a deceitful energy, and they don't know how to integrate these two parts of their lives too. I hear that they may have they may have snorted cocaine a couple times in their life, but just to try it out. They like to try it out. Like it's like they'll go here, they'll go there, they'll go everywhere. They'll try this out. They're like I'm hearing they may even not judging, but they may have swing both ways, try this out, try that out, you know what I mean? All that kind of nothing wrong with that, whatever, if it's consenting, all that, but I'm getting a sense of they almost like they don't there's just an overall sense of deceitfulness. They don't know their energy is very imbalanced. Like they'll be here, they'll be there, they'll be everywhere. They'll be working hard one day and then the next day they'll could be completely won't working at all. Like they won't be working at all. And then another day they'll be super focused for a couple hours and then not focused at all. And then partying a lot. Like they party a lot and I'm getting a lot of I got sort of unsafe practices in regards to, you know, their sexual activities. I get they can be a little bit unsafe too at times. And they'll be still yeah, you know what I mean? They can be and then they'll bounce back and then they'll be completely safe. They'll eat really well. And then they'll eat really crappy the next week, eat really well, exercise one week, be super disciplined, and then the next week they'll be they just seem to go to these extremes, these absolute imbalanced extremes, and then they can be yeah unsafe. I heard even unsafe driving, unsafe sex. And then they'll switch and then become they go from each person being super unsafe and risky to being almost puritanical. Interesting energy. They'll be super puritanical and they'll switch to being ultra yeah, this is an interesting energy I'm picking up. And then they'll be super, and it's like they'll go from they'll believe that these two aspects of them are fully them, and in a way it is. So yeah, that was the first thing I saw, the absolute threes, but the opposite end. One's partying, one is hard work, but it's and they are they are these things. It's like they're two people in one, and they switch from one to the other quickly, and it's so yeah, I'm hearing yeah, this person could be trustworthy on a good day and untrustworthy on a bad day is what I'm hearing. So very split energy, very interesting energy. Very interesting energy. See if there's any advice for dealing with this person. If you are in fact dealing with them, and you may not, this may be someone from the past, but it could be somebody. So I'm getting find your backbone. Interesting. So it's like I'm getting that this person. It's interesting. The energy I'm getting is actually this person needs to find their backbone. Um, they need to find their backbone within themselves, so they're no longer two different people. But I'm hearing sometimes you need to find your backbone as well too, in dealing when this person kind of, goes off and does their really um they're really unpleasant things that you need to kind of find your backbone as well too with this person. So it's like they need to find it as well and stop being so many different people, and then you need to as well when you're when you're dealing with them as well. Interesting. I just heard a sound. I'm just gonna see what that is. I'll be right back. It's okay. Nothing was there. It's all right. So basically, find your backbone, and then they need to find their backbone as well, kind of with but different energies. Like I think that you probably most likely have a different energy than them, but you both need to find your backbone. You dealing with this person at times, and them by being less what they are, which is kind of chaotic, fractured, a little bit deceitful, that kind of thing. So interesting. So that's what I get, and I hear in most cases I hear that they mean no harm. In most cases, like I hear in some cases they could be a little bit passive aggressive in some cases, and it's part of their fractured personality, which is not they cannot sometimes not be the best person to deal with. But they're here, so kind of approach them with some caution because they don't feel like the most safe energy in the world. So I hear kind of approach them with caution, kind of cautious with a jaundiced eye, if you will. That's the words I heard, a jaundiced eye. But yeah, I know that they need to work out their own demons. They need to work out their own demons, and their own demons do not have anything to do with you. So yeah, that's all we get for pile number 3. I hope that resonated. Give it a like or comment if you felt this resonated. I've also got other other readings. Well, this specific about people's trustworthiness. I've got a playlist just dedicated for these types of readings in the playlist section. But I've also got many readings about karma, narcissistic abuse healing, dream analysis, pets, just various different subjects. So you can check that out in the playlist section and see if it's worth it for you to subscribe. And yeah, that's what we got for pile number 3. Certainly an interesting energy that I picked up for them. And yeah, so we've got a good luck with dealing with this person. And pile number 4. Hello, pile number 4. Let's see if this person is trustworthy. Interesting. I just got the energy. It's an energy of someone I know or someone I've known in my life. Interesting that popped up. So I wonder if this energy is going to be like this person that I've known in the past. Interesting. Let's see what we pick up for pile number 4 of this reading. Is this person trustworthy? Let's see what's their personality. What's their core personality? And let's tune into the energies to see if this particular person is trustworthy. All right. So I'm hearing that this person feels quite frustrated right now. They feel quite frustrated, and they yeah, they feel like they can't catch a break is what I hear. They can't catch a break. They feel kind of stuck behind a wall type thing. They feel very, very like penned in by their different responsibilities, and they have a hard time. Okay, I'm picking up yeah, why this is like the person that I've known in the past. But yeah, so they have a trouble. I hear that they have trouble accessing their own inner passions. So they have to attack. They can't access their own ace. Like the Ace of Wands is very much about passion, and they can't access that, and they never feel that they will. So therefore, they always their main modus operandi, and I say this is about 85% them, is that they just attack other people because they can't find their own passion within. They can't find their own true spark is what I hear. So this person is they're not, I'm getting energy of 80%, 75, 80%, even more untrustworthy. So this is not a very trustworthy person. I hear they're always on the attack, and they feel, and I'm hearing that this energy could have somewhat be somewhat have been tempered a little bit, but it's still there. I'm hearing it may be a little bit tempered, kind of by circumstances that I hear. Like they're a sense of tempered by circumstance. They're behind. They feel trapped, and and so they used to be able to fully exhibit the energy of sort of attacking people, but it's less possible now because they feel like quite trapped. so they can't do that as much too, and they feel like they can never catch a break. But what was I going to say? Yeah, their Page of Swords can be this rendition of the Page of Swords. It's kind of got a dark energy, if you will, and this person, they're always looking to stab people with words. Like they're always looking for people's weak spots. They also try and I'm hearing they like to attack other people's whatever it is. And it's not that they're even jealous of other people's projects, but they like to it's not like that, but it's sort of like they could be. I'm hearing they could be in some cases. But if it's not that case, that they're not jealous of other people's projects, they have to attack them just for the hell of it. Like there's somebody who's always trying to find people's weak spots and cut them off at the legs, is what I'm hearing. So they feel like, they're always trying to, cut people down at the weak spots, cut down their projects, and cutting them down with words. They're always trying to, that's the way um, they gain their power is by words, because swords are with words, and then page is the most immature aspects of that. So I'm getting three from the top from my, I combine both decks so I can see. So two of swords, and it's sort of like I hear that they have a huge amount of insecurity. They feel like they're always in the state of the two of swords with the blindfold in on it. Like they can't see where they're going at all. That's what they feel all the time, and that's why they're always, attacking people with words, because they can't see. They can't see, so they very much rely on their mental capacity, and their particular mental forte is cutting down other people's projects, finding the flaws in them. They're what I call like I think the interrogator energy vampire. I think that's what's called, the one that's always like there's different energy vampires, so they're always trying to find the flaws in other people's projects. I hear if they start to develop any seed of, oh, this is developing a seed, they'll quickly turn someone's project, or at least try to, upside down, and tell them, oh, you can't do that, oh, that is the reason why. And it doesn't even matter, I'm hearing what the project is. It's just they have to cut it down. It's just they have they have to, because it's like it just feels good to them to cut other people's projects down, I hear. And it's because they have a strong sense of insecurity that they can't ever own up to. Therefore, they are always cutting people down, right? Because they're always and they like to feel a sense of abundance. I hear they don't feel a sense of abundance within themselves, not true abundance anyway. They feel a sense of, I word the word sticky, or what's the word, metallic energy. I don't know what exactly that means, but yeah, kind of a sticky, heavy, metallic energy. And because of that, they can't, they have to always cut people down. They have to cut people's down their abundance. Like the Empress is very abundant. Like whenever anybody has an idea, they'll be right in there with a wet blanket to tear it down, no matter what it is. They're in there with a wet blanket, and they just like to, jab at other people constantly, and basically, um, they like to jab at other people, and constantly cut down their fresh new wooden outlook type thing, or their fresh seedlings. They like to cut them down. So I'm hearing in this case that some cases this could be a parent, and then and that's very unfortunate. But yeah, just find your healing within. Find your true Empress energy, and I would suggest to sort of separate yourself from this kind of energy, whatever form, friend, parent, sibling, even annoying workmate. I heard workmate. So whatever form this person comes into your life, I'd probably recommend just a polite, smiling, but distance from this person. polite, smiling distance from this person. And then I hear once they feel like they've created their own inner garden and their own self, I'm hearing they won't need to. But yeah, it's like it's that one book they talk about the different energy around. I think it's the Celestine Prophecy, but it's like they're the interrogator, always trying to find the weak spots in people's ideas, and like just trying to do that constantly. And I hear it's exhausting to this person. It's both exhausting and emotionally unsafe to be around this person, because they're just they're they're both they're both invasive to your ideas, and they're also just they're draining. Like they're very much an energy vampire. They're very much always. And I hear they're kind of catty with the Page of Swords, right? They're kind of, they're kind of catty and um, just deeply unpleasant. So yeah, I'm getting an overall sense of untrustworthiness about this person. Maybe I'll get a card to see how can you deal with this person. How can you deal? Let's focus on you and how you can deal with this person. So live life to the fullest and be decisive. So I am seeing that this is the energies that this person is kind of tries to attack in your they try to attack this energy within you. Live life to the fullest, like Ace of Wands is living life to the fullest, and any kind of decisive movement forward, they try and attack that too. So I'm hearing sort of create this energy to be a counterbalance, or to be not this person's energy in your life. Just create a I'm hearing if you have to be around this person, maybe at work or any other circumstance, create a safe energy away from them. Polite. I hear polite, smile, but don't get too close to this person, right? And that's what we have to do with sort of people that are that are like this, right? It's just polite smile sometimes if you have to work at them, or even not even that, right? But sometimes it's just best to like to keep your distance from these types of people, and yeah, you keep your distance from these types of people, and then keep your emotional safety that way. Keep your emotional safety, and um and then maybe another card. We'll see five from the top. Two, three, four, five. I hear refine your attention. So I'm hearing don't give this person a time of day. Don't give this person a time of day. They really want to. I hear the word get in your head. Their words can really get in your head. And I hear don't let them. Don't let their. Refine your attention to your goals, to the growth that you wish to seek and that you wish to create in your life. And yeah, and so refine your attention, preferably away from this person, to your own growth, to your own goals, and yeah, away from this person's energy. And yeah, so that's what we've got. That's all we've got for pile number 4. I hope you enjoyed that. Maybe give it a like or subscribe or comment if you want to, and then maybe if you want to check out my playlist section, I've got a whole entire playlist dedicated to the subject of are they trustworthy. I've got other playlists like karma readings, cats, narcissistic abuse healing, dream analysis, and predictions and astrology, and a lot of other different topics. So maybe if you want to check that out and see if it's worth it for you to subscribe to this channel. But that's all we've got for pile number 4. I hope you enjoyed that, and have a good day.